I feel like Russell watched WandaVision and was annoyed by the lack of walking dinosaur bones and was like, I will do it myself. Right, it's another week, time for another Doctor Who review, and we have a lot to discuss, so we're just going to jump into it. I think after last year's final, people are rightly nervous about this season's ending. Once again, there's a lot of questions to answer, and we're all dreading that it's going to be resolved by a woman pointing at a street lamp. However, going into this one, I was excited. Russell has always been good at writing the first part of a final. He knows how to build up intrigue and threat, so I was expecting the same here. Did I get it? Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. I think I need to break this episode into two parts, because honestly, Wish World kind of feels like a two-parter in itself. The first half is very different to the second half, both tonally and in its pacing. The first half, we get to spend time in the Wish World, seeing how it works, watching the cracks begin to form, and I think all of that is magical. The world building is so simple but effective, even down to everyone having the bins full of the same broken mugs. It's the little details that make this uncanny feeling really shine. Getting to see these characters in the most stereotypical nuclear family style is a lot of fun, and it allows for some brilliant moments when the mask accidentally slips. This scene is probably my favourite of the episode. It's genuinely incredibly tense, and everything from the performances, the music and the writing just gel to create this wonderfully awkward and frightening moment. And at first the episode has a lot of fun with its concept, definitely with the set design. The set design in this one is fantastic. It's ambitious and gorgeous, it just pops off the screen and oozes with colour and details. They really got the aesthetic of this so-called perfect world, perfect family spot on. And the script matches these vibes at the beginning. The slow pace allows us to explore this new world and understand its intricacies. But then it feels like the episode remembers it's a final and has to set up a lot of things, meaning we just skip through the Wish World's plot incredibly quickly. This concept needed time to breathe, to reveal its secrets slowly and allow the tension and the uncanniness to grow and feel even more uncomfortable over time. Instead, it feels like 45 minutes of ideas whizzing past us before we even get time to acknowledge that they're actually pretty good. I liked all the stuff about Conrad's world. I loved the scenes with Ruby and Shirley. There's a lot of good stuff in this episode. For me, the problems really come from the Rani. Now, the performances are good, though I still don't understand why Mrs. Flood, a 2-year mystery, has been sidelined by the show. That's just odd to me, and I don't think whatever happens next week will change my opinion on that. It's a creative choice I just can't understand. However, the main problem with the Rani scenes is that the majority of them are just exposition, running through dialogue to get to the cliffhanger. For me, the last 10-15 minutes of the episode is where it really starts to run away from itself, which also harms everything that's come before, because the first 30 minutes kind of become pointless. It doesn't feel like we built naturally towards the cliffhanger. Instead, it feels like we watch a different episode and then the last 10 minutes were stitched on. And I know it's not going to feel like a complete story, it's part one of a 2-episode finale, but other parts have still felt like a satisfying 45 minutes. Bad Wolf is a great episode with its own reveals and plot beats. The parting of the ways may be the conclusion, but it's not what makes the first part a good episode of telly. Bad Wolf can stand on its own 2 feet. So let's talk about that reveal and the cliffhanger. So after what felt like a lifetime of exposition, we finally were told what the Rani is trying to achieve. She wants to bring back Omega, a Time Lord villain from the classic series, and as soon as his name was mentioned, my heart sank a little. Now, this isn't because I don't like Omega or I think they should never come back, but instead because I can't shake the feeling that the show is currently relying far too heavily on its past. The past that majority of viewers, definitely new viewers, have no emotional connection with. And remember, this is meant to be season 2. This was advertised as an era for anyone to start watching, however the majority of its twists only mean anything to long-time fans. While watching Wish World with my partner, she didn't have a clue who Omega was. And yes, the episode tells us very briefly, but telling the audience someone scary doesn't create excitement or dread. We don't even see him. At the moment, the whole presence is just a name. Last year's episode, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, revealed the big bad in a much more exciting and important way. The music swelled, the visuals went hard, the monologue that Harriet was chanting didn't just tell us to fear him, but instead created that sense of fear. And then he appeared, this foreboding presence engulfing the Tardis, apparently the safest place in the universe. It all just worked. However, this one just didn't do it for me. I'm not interested in Omega right now. We've got the Rani, 2 Ranis, and Conrad, and this cool, disturbing dinosaur world. That's enough. That's enough of a threat. And suddenly I'm meant to care about this other guy who's had no effect on the plot up to this point. I'm going to do a full video at one point, what I'm going to call the Doctor Who's Marvel problem, where I'll talk a lot more in depth about his obsession with the past, its lore, and expecting reveals to create excitement. So if you want to see that, please do subscribe, but for now, I'll just say that this reveal left me cold. Oh, and Rogue's back, a very quick cameo in a scene which is now up there with one of the worst CGI of the era. Why do we keep getting awful shots like this while also getting beautiful shots like this? I don't get it. The Rogue scene was fine, I can't say I really felt anything for it, but at least it's a cameo that new fans will understand immediately. I know it sounds like I didn't like this episode, but I did. I adored the first half. Doctor Who doing a weird Stepford Wives, everything is perfect, Uncanny Valley episode is my kind of thing. I liked it, but I know I could have loved it. It just needed to be stripped back a bit to give its main concept time to develop. And maybe I feel differently after the second part. It's said that a second part can make the first part seem worse, but maybe this will be the opposite and make this part feel stronger. I don't know. Another thing that worries me about Omega being involved is we really don't have a lot of time to answer all the mysteries and questions that have been set up. We still have the Ranis, Conrad, the creepy laughing baby, what's happening to Earth, Belinda, Poppy, Ruby, Susan. I mean, there's a lot to tie up without adding another classic villain into the mix. It just sounds messy. And it's very possible he won't actually return and the episode will be about the Rani trying to break him free and the Doctor having to stop her. And maybe it'll be brilliant. Who knows? I hope it is. I'm just worried after last year's final and there were so many questions left unanswered or had a really lackluster answer that we could be looking at that again. It could be messy. It could be brilliant. It really could be. I feel like it'll be messy. Let's just hope there's no lampposts. If there's no lampposts, I'm okay. I will accept it. I don't mind if we don't get any answers to anything. I don't mind if Susan doesn't come back. I don't care what happens with Ruby. Just no lampposts. Come on. Please.